Robert, first of all, just a word on following last week. Have you seen an extra spring in the step after that sort of result?
Look, it obviously helps when you get a victory. But the lads have been exceptional all year. You know, they've been really good. They've managed to keep the spirits up, even in defeats. But I feel like I sort of said after that Challenge Cup final, we got some really good sessions in where we trained really well, and we had the same group of men training week in, week out. So I don't think it was just a one-off. I think it's been coming. I think, in the league game in the second half, I think that's where it sort of started. The Wigan game we should have won, you know, and then that was just more of a, felt like it was just more of an outcome that were inevitable at some point. The way that the way they've been training, but yeah, obviously it makes it a little bit happier camp when you've got a win.
What about the squad news this week? I think Ollie Wilson and Sam Hewitt have dropped out of the 21. What's the issue with those two?
Well, Ollie didn't play last week either. We give him until the last moments. He's been carrying a pubis issue, which can be really severe or really mild. It's just, you don't know the severity. He said he's been carrying it for a little while, so it was just a case of before it became an issue, we decided that he's had a steroid injection in it. So he's had the injection in. He will miss. Obviously, he's definitely missing Catalans, but we are hopeful that he should settle down and be available for Castleford. And who was the one? Sorry, and it's obviously Sam Hewitt. And then obviously Sam Hewitt, it's just a head knock. Literally about 2 minutes into the game, someone caught him with a knee. So it's protocol that he's not available this week.
But Fenton comes back in, was he always due to come back in round about this time?
He's probably a little bit ahead of schedule, and he's probably very unlikely to play. He's just more of a backup, really. Just in case something does go wrong towards the game, that he'll come in. But if all things are equal, he probably is not going to play this week. He needs time, does Fenny, to actually get himself. He's been a long time injured, and what we've had to do this year is when players have been injured, there's been no grace period between when he's officially good to come back and actually playing. It's been a case of just throwing players straight back in, unfit, but physically fit. So it'd be nice for Fenny to get a bit of training under his belt, get some miles in the legs before he actually comes back and plays.
So minimal changes, would you say, for this week?
Yeah,
which is a good thing, obviously.
Yeah, which is a good thing. There'll be very minimal changes this week. Kieran Rush he was poorly last week with Kieran Rush. We had a little bit of it going around, if I'm honest. Harry Rushton the week before, I think he lost 5 kilograms, did Harry. And the plan was I wasn't really going to put him straight back. I wasn't going to play him until he gained a bit of weight. But then Rushy picked it up off him, so he dropped out of the squad, so I had to play Harry last week. So, but yeah, that sickness has gone now, so Rushy's in contention to play and be on the bench.
And that continuity is just as important as performance as well, isn't it?
Massive.
Well, they go hand in hand, certainly, don't they?
Oh, look, it's massive. It's massive, and that's probably one thing we haven't been able to do. Look, I thought they were a real statement of intent. I said this after the game from the club. When we lost Clooney, the club acted unbelievably fast and brought Fralls in. And I thought it were really good from Andy Kelly, from the club, the speed in which that happened. And I thought it made a massive difference to us on game day. In the past, I've had to move different players, different positions. Gagai's played half. George has played half. Rush has played half. And I didn't want to go down the route again and moving all the spine members. So we were really good actually bringing Fralls in straight away and actually getting some, and keeping a little bit of continuity within the spine.
So having had that improvement, having had that result last week, how important is it to back that up this week at Catalan?
Oh, look, we've got, I deem we've got a really important sort of 5 weeks really, until we have that mid-season break. We've got fixtures coming up with teams in and around us, so it's obviously important. You know, we've got a bit of a treacherous turnaround, if I'm honest. I think there's no Thursday night game this week because Lee pretty much refused to do it and changed. And you know, unfortunately for us, we haven't managed to do that. But it's still with the preparation that we've put in place the last few weeks. I think it'll stand us in really good stead. That we should be able to put a good performance in against Catalans and then go to Castleford and and put a good performance there as well.
In 30 odd, 37, going down to 35-degree heat for the game. Can you do anything to prepare for what's to come?
Not when we've just been training in the rain. It's raining where we are. Look, it is what it is. It's the same for both sides. I know they'll be a little bit more acclimatised to it, but I feel like I said before, the training that we've put in over the last few weeks will stand us in really good stead for it. The heat obviously will play a part, and we've got to be exceptionally smart around how we manage the game, and that's why having a little bit of continuity in the spine makes a big difference, because it's about managing the game, understanding as a spine member when you need to slow the game down, when your forwards are feeling the heat, feeling the getting a little bit fatigued, and also keeping the ball in play and speeding the game up. And that's one of the jobs of the halfbacks, and something we've spoke about this week, about when we speed the game up and when we slow it down, how we do that. So look, it'll play its part, but it'll be the same for both teams.
Be a tough day for one of your polar bears anyway, in Matty English, who's, if he plays, is set to make his 150th career appearance. I think Tui's on 150th Super League appearance on Saturday as well, with nice milestones for those two.
Yeah, really good luck. And Matty's done it at one club, which is an achievement in itself. You know, it's one thing making that many appearances. When you get over the 100 mark, you're obviously, you're established as a Super League player to go 150. But to go 150 at one club's, very special achievement, and obviously Tui's obviously done that as well. So yeah, we obviously like to, the special occasions. I always say to the boys that you as a teammate, if you really care about them, you make the milestones a memorable and enjoyable game for those lads. So hopefully we can do that.
Well said, mate. I'll pass you over to everyone else. Good luck on the Saturday, mate.
Thank you.
Stay out of that sun.
Yeah, brother.
Hi, mate.
How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Just a real quick one, just on what's the latest on the Tarnay Mill investigation into that alleged eye gouge?
Yeah, look, the Rugby League looked at it. I think I don't think there's any evidence, and I think Crowther withdrew the complaint.
Right.
So it's null and void.
No case to answer then?
No case to answer, mate.
Is that a bit of a relief, or did you always feel that this was going to be the case?
Oh, look, it was one of those where, Tarnay said he didn't do it. There didn't seem much video evidence going either way, if I'm honest. So obviously it's nice to know that you've got one of your players available on the field, but yeah, look, I think we could kind of guess what the outcome was going to be. Will they advance?